Creating a first is rather a daunting task because you're essentially creating the beginning of what could be a legacy. And when talking about Nike, there are many great firsts that began such a legacy. We're talking the Jordan 1, the Air Max 1, the first Kobe, the first LeBron, etc. And today we're tackling another great first, that being the Air Yeezy 1. Now, anyone who knows a little bit about sneakers have at least heard about the Yeezy Boost 350, Kanye's hottest shoe on the market and also one of Adidas' biggest shoe lines alongside their Ultra Boost and NMD line. But before Kanye worked with Adidas, he worked with Nike, and it was here he created the first ever Yeezy sneaker. The Air Yeezy project began in 2007 where Kanye's fame were at an all-time high. Having released College Dropout and Late Registration and with Graduation on the horizon, I guess Nike thought it would be a good time to create a shoe with Kanye. And if you by some chance haven't heard about these albums and want to know how Kanye became such a big deal, I recommend going back and giving those albums a listen. The story goes like this. Nike's creative director Mike Smith approached Kanye in 2007 and told him that Nike wanted to create a shoe with him. This at the time made pretty good sense since Kanye did not only have a presence in the music industry but also in fashion, having released the Bape Dropout Bear Bapesta a couple of years prior, and thus the Air Yeezy project was born. It is also worth to note that this was not only a big deal to Kanye but to Nike as well, because up until this point Nike had never ever released a shoe featuring a non-athlete. Kanye had a lot to say of how the shoe would end up looking like and even brought in some of his own sketches to create an idea of the overall look. One of the things that Kanye said as one of his primary goals was that the shoe should have a retro feel. And to make sure that it had just that, he wanted to combine different aspects of Nike's Air Jordan line that he loved so much into the shoe. These included the silhouette of the 2, the toe cap of the 3, the molded color of the 5, and also the extended tongue of the 6. The whole project took way longer than first anticipated. They thought that they could be done with everything in about 3 months, but it actually took them a whole year to finish everything up, as working with Kanye is known to cause some delays due to his perfectionism, and this shoe did not escape that treatment either. But at the 2008 Grammys, the whole world will get to see the Air Yeezys for the first time during Kanye's performance of Stronger and Hey Mama at the awards show. Many people were hoping to get a quick release date for the shoe now that it had finally been finished, but for some reason it took Nike a whole year from the shoe being announced until it saw the day of release, which is not a completely bad thing because it actually led to a high number of samples being created for the shoe. And I really like this because I think it's really cool to see what could have been instead of what we actually got, and in my opinion some of these samples actually look better than the colorways that were eventually released. And finally, in the spring of 2009, we got the first ever drop of the Air Yeezys in a sand gray colorway. And just like any other hype Jordan released up until this point, people were camping out for days just to get a hold of a pair. Now, you may not see this as a big deal, but back then it was, because up until that point there hadn't been this much hype for a shoe that wasn't a Jordan, a point that Kanye loves to bring out from time to time whenever he's asked about why he left Nike. In the months following the release of the Air Yeezy 1 Sand Grey, we would see the release of the Blink and Net colorway, each of them having the same amount if not more people waiting outside to get a hold of a pair. After the Air Yeezy project was done, Kanye went on to design another shoe, but this time with French fashion brand Louis Vuitton, but he would eventually return to Nike to create another Air Yeezy, but that is a story for another time. And now it's time to talk about the shoe in question, and the Air Yeezy 1 is probably the most premium shoe that I've covered on my channel so far, coming in a premium full grain leather upper alongside a premium grade patent leather support strap and a premium suede toe cap. It's really interesting to just look at all the small quality details of this shoe, and it doesn't stop at the upper either. The bottom of the sole is actually taken from the Jordan 3, and the outsole is an altered version of the one found on the Nike Aerosol, made to provide maximum comfort. And comfort is something that was really important to Kanye when it came to the Air Yeezy 1, because he wanted the shoe to be as comfortable as possible no matter how crazy he went on stage. It is also worth to note that the Air Yeezy 1 features a rather impressive ankle support system that helps the foot stay in place pretty much at all times without it being uncomfortable for the person wearing it. It's really amazing to see just how much care went into this shoe. This is probably the reason why it took so long to release. And it's also really astonishing to see just how many small details this shoe have that is unique to Kanye, but at the same time are also identifiable as Nike. But with that being said, these facts and this shoe also saddens me in some way, because even 10 years after this shoe released, I don't think that we have seen any kind of shoe from Nike had this much thought, love and care put into it. And it may be harsh to say, but I don't think we ever will get another shoe like this. The Air Yeezy 1 is really a unique and special shoe, and I don't think that we won't get one because Nike doesn't care about quality, because I do believe they care about quality products, but I don't think that they want to go the extra mile with another shoe release, and especially not this kind of extra mile with any other. It's really unfortunate to say the least, and it's really saddening to be honest. And now we're at my favorite part in the video, where I get to give out my own opinions on the shoe itself. And if anything else, I find the Air Yeezy 1 to be a rather confusing but at the same time interesting shoe. And I also gotta be honest with you all, I really don't like the look of it. Now, the reason why I don't like the look of it is because I think that the Yeezy 1 looks like a Jordan hybrid. You know, like a Legacy 312. And given its history, it makes sense, but it's just not for me. But something that I really don't get is that when I talk to people about the Yeezy 1, they will praise it as the holy grail. But if I show them the Legacy 312, which is also more or less a Jordan hybrid, they will just say it looks bad, it looks ugly, it's just a really bad shoe that Jordan brand released. And I don't get this. I mean, both shoes are more or less Jordan hybrids, but the Yeezy 1 is seen as a grail and the Legacy 312 is just seen as something bad. I don't get this, but I guess taste is subjective, I don't know. But despite my criticisms, I have to admit that I really love this shoe. Now, I don't love the Yeezy 1 because of the resale price or because of the hype, but because of the story that it tells. And because of that, I don't see the Yeezy 1 as a mere shoe that is meant to be worn. I see it more as a piece of art, something that should be displayed somewhere, as it tells the story of how one of the biggest sneaker giants at the time created a shoe for one of the biggest artists of all time. And that's why I think that if any shoe deserves to be seen more than just a regular sneaker and more as a precious piece of art, it should be the Yeezy 1, definitely. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you really liked the video. Leave a like if you did so, and also subscribe if you want to see more. I'm SneakerKlev, and I'll see you in the next video.